Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Christy Hutcherson with Women Fighting for America here. Again, I know it's been really quiet on the home front from me doing a lot of lives, um, but I have been working very hard for the last 6 to 8 months behind the scenes, doing a lot of gathering of intelligence and work that have to do both with Iran, China, and how it correlates with the southern borders, and also with how we're being surrounded consistently by the worst of the worst, United States enemies. Today, I'm going to give you guys an update for what's been going on with Hurricane Helene. And of course, most of you know I live in Florida. And so we just are recovering from a very hard hit double punch with Hurricane Milton that just hit off the coast of between Naples and Tampa, Florida. So first and foremost, myself, Women Fighting for America, and our extended family that I work with, both healcorp.org and also the sentinelfoundation.org and our canine cadaver team. We want to tell you how much we appreciate everybody's generosity, their love, their support, their prayers. Our teams have been on the ground since literally right after Hurricane Helene just swept through that disastrous path through North Carolina. Our teams, of course, were one of the first on the ground, and we have been conducting search and rescue, which typically is the first 96 hours. In North Carolina, it's still going on, but a lot of it has turned to, quite frankly, a recovery process. And so there's a lot of destruction. I've lived through a lot of hurricanes in my lifetime, and I can tell you the scenes and what's really happening on the ground when you're there. You cannot describe the words. And again, with North Carolina specifically, they could not see what was coming. My dad is from Kentucky. I'm a country girl at heart. And my family, I have a lot of family who live up in hollers, right? And if you don't know what a holler is, they're kind of like they're small little coves and branches that are deep down in the mountain valleys in hard, remote, typically areas to get to. And when the water and all of that rainwater hit and the winds, it created this flow of water, which made all of the dams and the waters and the creek beds and all that stuff rise. Well, mix that with the mountains, right? There's a lot of clay up in the North Georgia, North Carolina, South Carolina, Appalachian Mountains. Mix that with the debris and the trees and the water, and you had this massive rush coming down the hills. And so that's why you're seeing a lot of homes and so much destruction and families who have lost their lives, quite frankly, because they were swept away in these mudslides. And, being very sensitive to the families and the loved ones who have lost family, they're going to need our prayers. And this is going to be a long process. It's going to be a marathon, not a sprint. We're going to be recovering for a very long time as we dig out all of this mud. So our teams, our medical team, Women Fighting for America works with an incredible organization called HEAL, HEAL-corp.org. It is a team of medical doctors, trauma nurses, pediatrics, gynecological doctors, and our search and rescue teams. We have been there since day one. One of the head of our medical doctors, he was on Fox News, if you were catching in the last several days to a week. He was flying up and doing assessments with a helicopter and then also landing. One particular story that Dr. Fernando was telling our team when he was out there is they had to land the helicopter and then get in kayaks and then take the kayaks up to do some rescues and also to do some triage work. So this is your love in your donations at work. And this is why I'm giving you the update on where the money has been going to. Women Fighting for America was able to raise $10,000 to your generosity. We need a lot more. If you can donate, you can see that QR code behind me. Please donate $5, believe it or not. It's a force multiplier when we're all doing this. And I'm going to be speaking in Selma, North Carolina at the Reawaken America tour, and we're going to show the videos. So you're going to be able to see firsthand all of the videos and the stories of the rescues and what our teams have been doing, the canine dogs, the helicopter searches. Right now, currently today, as we speak, we have a team right now on mules and horses, still over 2 weeks later, going up the mountain into these hard areas that you still can't get to bring critical water and food and medical supplies. You know, when the sensational first 10, 12 days goes away, the news media goes away, well, the work doesn't stop. And there's people still up on those mountains stuck. There's still people in the hollers who haven't heard from anybody. And our teams are right now racing to get there. It's an incredible, incredible mission and opportunity to give love to our fellow neighbors. We've had, so conducting our search and rescue operations in Elk River, there's a big organization that we're working with. Again, I'm giving you the update where your money is going, right? So we've been working with Sentinel Foundation, and they've set up an incredible base at the River Elk Airport up near Blowing Rock and Boone area. And it's critical because that's where we have set up an incredible staging area to bring in all of these winter clothing, medical supplies, things that we're going to need as the weather turns cold, sleeping bags, wood stoves, propane tanks, gasoline, so we can continue our operations. It's a well-oiled machine. And I'm really excited because I've had numerous state senators, one in particular, I'm going to mention Senator Alexander out of North Carolina. What a patriot. He has been on the phone almost daily with us and me, with Women Fighting for America. And we've been assisting with all of the search and rescue operations, the getting out the food, the water, the clothing, the supplies, the medical, all of the things that are needed after such a magnitude of a disaster. So thank you, Senator Alexander. We appreciate your help. We appreciate your prayers. There are several other senators who we've been on the phone with talking because, you know, everybody needs to do their part. We've been working and doing drops for food, again, and water and first aid. Canine cadaver teams. We had our canine cadaver teams out of West Virginia, incredible organization as well that we've been working with Women Fighting for America. They did 4 or 5 days of operations with their canine dogs. You know, these are cadaver dogs. So, you know, they're looking for loved ones. We were able to identify so we can return these loved ones to their family, right? Because that's really important for closure. Our medical team. Oh my gosh, our medical team. I cannot speak more about our medical team. They have been incredible. So we are right now setting up the field hospital, and it is going to be set up, and it's being set up right now as we speak in Swannanoa, North Carolina, and it's off of Patton Cove Road. And we're working with a couple local churches there. So again, you can donate so we can buy the critical medical supplies that we need, winterized clothing, or you can ship and send in care of heal-corp.org or Women Fighting for America, precious socks and jackets and sleeping bags and medical supplies. Everything. We need triage, we need gauze, you name it, we need it. So you can send it to 20 Patton Cove Road. We're working with one of the Baptist church there on the ground. They've been so gracious to allow us to use their parking lot to set up one of many critically needed field hospitals. Again, heal-corp.org, who I am working closely with, setting up these much needed field hospitals. You know, what people don't understand is that after the hurricane and all of this, you know, there's open wounds and things like that. And then you mix in all of the debris and the chemicals, the dysentery, and all of the things that go along with that, which breeds bacteria, which gets into the skin. This is going to be, we're going to start seeing infections respiratory issues, things like that, gynecological. The children are going to need medical care. So we're bringing in a team of women's doctors, specifically gynecological care for women. We're bringing in pediatricians for the children. We're bringing in trauma doctors, infectious disease doctors. Actually, Dr. Fernando is one of the top 9 infectious disease doctors, period. And we're so glad to have him on our staff. So this is where your money's going to. This is where your donations are actually going to. And I want to talk about, and I'm going to give you an update really quick, and then I'm going to end this about the disinformation, misinformation, right? I love the new words. Those are the new code words that are being utilized out of the left, the Department of Justice, the White House. You have a right to question your government. You have a right and a duty. Actually, it's a duty to question the lack of response and the delayed response. It's not disinformation and it's not misinformation. I can personally tell you, I have spoke off the record with heads of National Guard teams and also off the record with FEMA. And they have all told me time and time again, and also we've witnessed it firsthand physically on the ground, right, with our own eyes, our teams. And I can tell you, leadership matters in this country. Who you put in place to lead matters, because everything trickles down from the top down. The soldiers, the National Guardsmen, some of the FEMA workers on the ground, they're doing what they're told to do. They're taking orders. And so when they are delayed in getting to the most critical areas quickly, it's not because they didn't want to, because I can tell you right now, there are stories about National Guardsmen who literally were told to stand down for the first 5-6 days. They took leave, went to their commanding officers and took leave so they could be on the ground in North Carolina before that 5 days, before they were actually called to duty. These are facts. And so we have to be very careful not to listen to the misinformation and disinformation coming actually out of the White House, because it's irresponsible, because they're trying to cover up their inadequate leadership. It's really that simple. And I'm really frustrated with these bigger organizations who continue to give to other charities like the Red Cross, who we have not seen at all on the ground. Multi-millions of dollars are given to these organizations. And I have reported on this in the past. These governmental funded NGOs, and that's what they are, who have hundreds of millions of dollars. And they're not doing right by the American people, in my personal opinion. And I'm going to say it, because the people on the ground who are actually doing the work are the neighbors, are the small grassroots organizations like Women Fighting for America and heal-corp.org and foundationsentinel.org and the K9 Cadaver Team out of West Virginia. These people are brave. They are, a lot of times we fund this ourselves because we are not going to wait for the big dollars to come in, right? Because they don't come. But people's lives matter. And we care about our fellow citizens. That's who we are. We have a heart for you in this nation. And you are the feet and hands. We can't do what we do without your generous donations and prayers, quite frankly. Samaritan's Purse is another amazing organization. I cannot speak highly enough about Samaritan's Purse. But these other huge organizations, please stop giving to them. I'm telling you to stop giving to them. They are nothing but an arm of the federal government, and they do the bidding of the federal government, and not in a good way, by the way. And so, again, this was our update. We are setting up field hospitals currently as we speak in Swannanoa off of Patton Cove Road. That's hill-corp.org. Sentinel Foundation, they have an incredible operation up there in Banner Elk area at the Elk River Airport with a big distribution facility, staging for our supplies and getting out much critical needs. Kudos to our K9 Cadaver Team, who worked 24 hours a day, around the clock for 5 days, looking for loved ones. And thank you for our continued Women Fighting for America and Hill Corp, who are currently on the mountain, on mules, on donkeys, on horses, going where still ATVs and stuff are hard to get to, bringing much needed critical water and food supplies and medical supplies. Again, this is a marathon, everybody. This isn't a sprint. These folks are going to be hurting for a very, very long time. They still don't have food and water in some areas, believe it or not. Hi, Alberta, Canada. I love you. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please share this message far and wide. Facebook is shadow banning me. I usually get 500-600 people. I haven't been live in a long time because Facebook, quite frankly, and the other social media, they just suppress and try to stop truth from being gotten out there. So again, please share this message. Donate. That QR code right there. That's QR code right there. Please donate $5, $10. And if you can donate more, that's great. 100% of your money. We are not a bureaucratic red tape organization. Hill Corp is not. Women Fighting for America is not. Sentinel Foundation is not. 100% of your money goes to, every penny, every dime goes to those victims who need the help the most, and to our team, so we can be on the ground when disaster strikes. And it's really important to actually be on the ground prior to the disasters. Staging, post-staging is, pre-staging is so important, to be there before the disaster and during that disaster, so we can go in quickly, right? And we can't do that without your support. So please donate generously, pray often. We prepare for the worst and we pray for the best. And together in unification, we can save this country. We can be there for each other, because in the words of Ronald Reagan, one of the worst words ever is, I'm here from the government and I'm here to help you. Because as we've seen time and time again, our government, unfortunately, is not here to help the American people. They would rather give our money, our taxpayer-funded dollars, overseas to individuals who didn't work off their own sweat and back for our hard-earned money, our taxpayer-funded dollars. And I am going to talk to you about FEMA really quick, because this is truth. This is a fact. You can Google search whatever you want to do. This is not misinformation. And the director of FEMA, one of the administrators of FEMA, was just interviewed on the Weather Channel, and she concurred exactly what I'm getting ready to say. FEMA is out of money. Don't let the White House lie to you. FEMA is 100% out of money, which is disgusting on numerous levels, because they shouldn't be, because we pay for that out of our pocket. What FEMA is doing now and how they're funding this hurricane down here in Florida, Milton, is they've actually borrowed from the 2025 FEMA budget. And what does that mean? So next year, when we have more disasters or hurricanes, FEMA again is always borrowing from Peter to pay Paul, right? Because we have a government who is out of control in spending. They are sending hundreds of billions of dollars to Ukraine. We have to stop that bleed. We cannot support Ukrainian government any longer. We need to replenish the United States of America, and we need to put Americans first. It's really that simple. We cannot afford to take care of the world's refugees and migrants and illegals who are breaking into our country. It's really that simple. We have to secure the United States and the funds for the United States of America, so it's there for the American people. And then as we rebuild, then our generosity can continue to flow through the rest of the world. Leadership matters. And in less than 23 days, we are going to be voting for leaders all across this country, from the state level all the way up to the highest office of the land. Personalities don't matter. Whether you feel good about somebody or not should not matter. We need to think with our heads and not with our hearts and emotions. We need to elect leadership, because the United States of America is leaderless, and the world is a much, much dangerous place because of it. And I don't care what political affiliation you are, because I'm disappointed across the board in every single Republican, Democrat, and Independent for the most part. This is not about party. This is about country. This is about citizens of the United States, her people. And when the only and first and foremost duty of the President of the United States is to protect and defend the people of the country and the Constitution. It's really that simple. It doesn't need to be overcomplicated, you see, because they've dumbed America down in the school system, so you don't understand civics and really truly how and why this government was created, how it's actually supposed to function. We were never supposed to have big government. The founding fathers actually fought for this nation against big government of Great Britain. And here we are 250 years later, back where we started from. But you, the American people, all walks of life, all socioeconomic areas, whether you're poor, middle class, wealthy, black, white, green, Asian, blue, purple, male, female, he, she, it, them. Leadership matters. The world is burning. We have wars on multiple fronts. We are literally getting ready to possibly go into a nuclear war with Iran. This is very dangerous. And if you think America's safe, think again. I have been following China and Iran and Russia in our back door in the Caribbean. That's a story for another day. I wanted to give you an update on what's going on with hurricane. But I am going to tell you, whether it's a natural disaster or whether it's a war, or whether it's trafficking and fentanyl and drug cartels and gang members or violence in our streets, leadership matters. And we're seeing what the leadership has been for the last 4 years. And I believe it's time that we put individuals across every single local, city, state, and federal government. We need to send a message with leadership. Elect wisely, my friends, give generously, and pray often. I love you guys. Facebook, again, is going to completely take away this. They're going to try to not let you watch it and see it. I've already gotten messages that people are not, Facebook's going to do this. It's because they don't want the truth to really be out there. So they want to silence you and take your First and Second Amendment as well. So God bless you guys. Give generously to Hurricane Helene victims, Milton victims. Heal-corp.org. Women Fighting for America. Text FIGHT to 91776, or please do the QR code. Give generously, pray often. God bless you. And as always, God bless the United States of America. And I'll go live next week when I'm on the ground again in North Carolina and speaking at the Reawaken Tour in Selma, North Carolina. See you soon. Take care.